Hi. Okay, so I'm starting a video blog. It's just easier for me instead of typing down everything. Um, I was gonna do it on every day that I've been here so far, but I've realized that I'm like really behind since we're 2 weeks into this. So I'm gonna start out with just letting you know where I've been. I've been to the Church of San Clemente, which is basically a church that is 3 layers of history. The top layer is built in the 12th century, the middle layer is built in the 4th century, and the bottom layer was built in the 1st century. And what's so fascinating about that was that I think the most fascinating thing that I found was that the 1st century layer was actually not a church. It was a layer where a cult used to worship, and they used to worship the son of the god of light, and we're talking about Roman gods here, not Greek gods. It was so, and then the second day we went to St. Peter's Basilica, which, as most of you do know, it's in the Vatican. I think people underestimate, or at least I did, because you hear so many great things about St. Peter's, and all you can say is when you're not there, like, how great could it be? So I went to go see it. That was July 8th, and it was actually the most breathtaking place I've ever been to in my life. If you're ever in Rome, it's definitely something that you have to see, not because it's a tourist attraction, but just because the architecture, the paintings, the murals, the frescoes, everything in that basilica is just, I can't even describe it in a video blog. That would just take forever. Then on July 9th, on a Friday, I had 2 lectures, so that was, you don't need to know about that. I went to the Coliseum and the Forum. We actually had, we were lucky and we had Darius Aria. He was our lecturer, and he took us around the Forum, which is actually, I had no idea who he was, but then I found out that he's done like documentaries on the History Channel, and he's been in National Geographic, and he's supposedly someone that's very, very famous if you're into, history, humanities, art history, that kind of thing. After he took us around the Forum, we went to the Coliseum. It was like right across the street, so we went by ourselves. But the Coliseum is also a lot better than I anticipated. It was actually, I was really upset because, I don't know if you guys watched the movie Jumper, but in Jumper, they got to go down in the Coliseum and they got to explore, well, technically they went in illegally, but they got to explore that ruins area, but that's the one place that I really wanted to look at that I didn't get to. Okay, and then on the 13th of July, we went to the synagogue. It's a Jewish museum. It's actually near Trastevere, and it's one of the oldest and biggest synagogues. It houses about 20,000 people. It was a way of Jewish people of saying, oh, we made it through the ghetto. Like, once Italy became a republic, the Jewish were free. So they were released from the ghetto, which was basically kind of like a concentration camp / this like 4-block radius where all the Jewish people had to live under the Nazi ruling. Then on July 14th, we went to see the Trevi, Piazza Navona, and the Pantheon. The Pantheon was cool because of the sundial that's in the dome. There's actually a sun. It's like a sun clock on the dome, except it tells time with the light counterclockwise. It was supposed to be one of like a huge breakthroughs that the Romans made or something, but the Pantheon was actually used long before as a worshiping ground for Roman gods and goddesses. Now it's used for masses. It's considered a sacred space. Piazza Navona it's actually near where I take classes, but it's basically this large area, and, oh no, I'm spilling. Okay, anyway, sorry. It's a large area that markets used to go to, or markets used to be there. I'm sorry, this is probably like an awful vlog. It's really hot here, so there's no air conditioning, so what we do is we freeze water bottles and then we, you know, drink them. But I accidentally froze a sparkling water one because I'm really good at reading Italian, which I'm not because I don't know anything Italian except for like ciao. Anyway, at the Piazza Navona, it's 3 fountains. One's really big in the center, and then there's 2 off to the side, and that space used to be for, I actually forgot what that space used to be, but it's really pretty, so you should go see it. And then we went to the Trevi Fountain, which is famous for making a wish. You throw 3 coins in there, you hold them in your right hand, and you throw it over your left shoulder while you're back facing the fountain. And the first coin, I believe, is supposed to be for love. The second coin is for marriage. And the first coin is for a trip back to Rome. So you wish for those 3 things, you toss them in, and, you know, hopefully the gods will grant your wishes. On the 15th, we were supposed to go to the catacombs, but instead we went to 2 churches. One church of where Michelangelo, I think it was Michelangelo? Don't quote me on that. One of the churches, which was, there's a tomb of one of the popes, and he used to be a cardinal there, so we went to go see that. And then another church, which was, I'm sorry, backed up for a second. I can't remember, which is probably bad. Oh, no, I do remember. Another church. Actually, yeah, I kind of don't. It was another church, and then we saw it with. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It was the church that's dedicated to Mary. I think a lot of people that look for fertility or really praise Mary, like the Catholics, they go there for worship a lot. Then on the 19th, yesterday, we went to, oh my god, it's like I'm getting old, but I'm not. On the 19th, we went to the Capitol Hill. It's the origin of the Capitol Hill. The actual center was designed by Michelangelo himself, and then we went to the church, or the basilica, that was near there. There we learned that there were chapel spaces that were rented out to private families that wanted their own private space in a church. We also went to, that was the Franciscan church, and then we went to the Dominican church. Today, we went out to, I don't know, it was like 4 to 5 stops from Termini and the metro station, and we went to the industry area, and we went to a museum that used to be a factory. They had a lot of old pieces, different sculptures. They had Fortuna, the goddess of, I don't know, goddess of fortune, I'm guessing. A huge statue of her head and her feet, or that was what was remaining. That's it. I'm sorry for all the pausing, the thinking, losing track, but I'm just too lazy to redo this. If anyone actually sat through that, I'm sorry. But those are some of the things that I'm doing on my trip right now. So if you're thinking about going on vacation for Rome, then those should be some of the places that you should go see. I'll post where I'm going tomorrow on either the description or wherever I can post it. Thanks for watching.